Hello, folks. Ronus here with fishing the Barents Sea. Before I start, let me do a small disclaimer here. It has been over a year since I've done a YouTube video, so any mess ups or jittering on my part, that is why. And also, I lost my original video recording equipment, so as you can see by the little thing on top of the screen, I am using a free version of Bandicam, so the video quality might not be best in the world, but I'm going to give this the best shot as I can. Now, the main purpose of this video is tips and tricks on trawling. A fellow, or I shouldn't say a fellow YouTuber because I'm not really a YouTuber anymore. A YouTuber that I watch quite regularly now, Jaxie Beard, whose channel I will put in the description if you do not know him. Great YouTuber and streamer. But he did a stream of the Barents Sea on Valentine's Day, and he was trying to explain how to do trawling, and he wasn't having very much success at it. No offense to the Beard, he's an awesome guy, but he wasn't getting the catch, is what I'm saying. He wasn't getting the catch that he should have been getting. So, and I noticed that there is no tips or tricks out there in YouTube that I've noticed yet of how to properly do trawling. So that is what I am doing with this video today. As you can see, I'm using the Hermes, which is, as of right now, the biggest ship in the game. The trawling process for this and the lunar bow is the same. So the concept is the same. The only difference is that the Hermes is a floating fish processing plant, and there are some more steps you have to do after you get your catch than the lunar bow. Lunar bow, you can work with a 4-man crew quite easily. With the Hermes, you really need a full crew, and you need somebody who is really good at machine gutting, and you need a couple guys that are really good at freezing, and it also helps to have a couple people really good at stacking, because this is to sell your catch. This is what you have to do. You have to gut it, you have to freeze it, and you have to stack it before you can sell it. So that's tip number one. It has absolutely nothing to do with trawling, but it has to do with this ship. So, all right, now let's get into my deck here, and I can show you how I have this set up. Now, this is on the captain's chair. I have my navigation over here, which is always important. And this, I call it the spider web chart. I forgot what exactly it's called. But it is an essential piece of the process. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, on the Hermes, it isn't centered the way it should be, so you can't see these other two elements down here, which I think is tension and tilt. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure. But these two down here actually really don't matter. As long as you get these three correct, these two down here will fall in suit. All right, so for these three up here is your speed, your trawling speed, the speed of your boat, which, okay, everybody thinks you need to be at 4, 5, or 6 knots. This is incorrect. If you go by this chart here, you need to be between 2.5 and 3 knots. No more than 3 knots. 2.5 and 3 knots if you want to stay in the green and get the most out of your net. Distance will cover distance and symmetry will cover that. They are both one and the same as far as how to get it set up. So symmetry, there's 2 ways you can do it. I prefer my way just because it's a lot easier and I don't have to finagle too much. So okay, so let's go ahead and get our boat started first. Go back in this view so that I can actually see the throttle. And right about there should bring us right about to the speed we want, I think. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot that the trial version of Vanican only has 10-minute limit. So, anyway, all right. So we're getting our ship up to speed here. Like I said, you want to be between 2.5 and 3 knots. You don't want to be more than 3 knots. This should get us up to speed. So we're going to go back here and jump on here. Get my trawling crew out here. There we go. And as soon as they're in place, we'll release the net, and I can go ahead and explain further on the symmetry and the distance here. Alright, you guys are set. Alright, here we go. The oars are out. Alright, now let's go to this panel. This is how I have my panel set up. I have my catch meter here, and by the way, my ship has all the bells and whistles. So I have the catch meter here, the HOC, the heads up. This lets you know when you have fish coming into the net, how big your opening is, how close closing is. This is your tilt meter here, or your tilt sensor. Which is very important, and I'll explain that in just a second. Let me get out of this for just a minute. Stop these for a second. And send my crew to the back so that way they don't get all wild on me. Okay. So while I explain this, I don't have to worry about that. Alright, so this is your tilt and what direct the tilt of the doors. Okay, which is important, so that way you know the flow of the net and everything. Oh, look at here, I'm already getting fish, I'm not even freaking doing anything yet. The distance, alright, now this, you want to have your distance at 150 meters. Alright, like right now we're at 74 meters. You want it at 150 meters. And up here it shows the depth of your doors, okay, like your, I think this is a port door, yeah. Your port door, my port door is 37 meters, my starboard door is 36 meters. Now to get the symmetry without doing the whole arrow key finagling part, excuse me, without doing the whole arrow key finagling, you want these at about a 20 meter apart distance. Now because of the way these go here, once I start my line again, you'll see the port usually points down and the starboard will point up. So what I'll usually have, what that means to me is I'm going to have my port lower than my starboard. Now I don't know if that's exactly correct, but that's how I read it and that's how I do it. So my port is going to be approximately 20 meters lower than my starboard door. All right, so let's go ahead and start the drop process again. And what I do is I watch the distance, and once this gets to 140, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my starboard door. This takes a while. Okay, we're going to stop that one going, and now we're going to go to 150 with this one. Okay, I don't know why it stuttered there. Okay, this way, alright, so they're only 5 meters, yeah, they're only 5 meters apart, and I actually would rather have that further, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reel this in. I'm going to reel this in for about 10 meters, like so, and then we're going to go out with this one back to 150. Okay, there. Now they're more the angle I want them to be. And as you can see, I have a big old school of fish coming. So I'll probably be filling up here. My net will be filling up here very shortly. So, okay, and you can see because my net is 60% full, my knots are way down. So we're going to have to get our knots back up. So let's get out of here. Get back on over here. All right, so you can see our net is not green, it is red, and that's because my knots is so low. So let's crank her up, get her back up to speed. Oh, too much. Back her down. Back her down. Okay, so now what isn't green on here? My symmetry. Okay, my symmetry is too wide, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay, pop this up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna fix my symmetry here. My symmetry is not correct, and I see why. Okay, see how this has adjusted now. Now they're more than 20 apart than I wanted. So, let's see here. We want to deploy this. There we go. And let's see if that doesn't fix it. Nope, our symmetry is still off. Okay. We'll reel in this one. Now it's at 20. I'm just going to go ahead and get a few bumps up in case it changes. There we go, perfect. Okay, this is the way you want. Okay, I can actually go up on my speed a little bit here, so I think I'm going to do that real quick before a couple notches on speed. Get our speed up. And as you can see, everything's in the green, and this is the way you want it. You want to try to get it to the border as close as possible. And what that does is opens the circumference of the net, so you'll catch more fish. Perfect. All right. And let's see how we're doing on the catch here. So right now we're at 60%, but we're going through a school of fish at the moment. So that should be bumping up. Yep, there it goes. There it goes, bumping up. So this is how I do my trawling. Other people might do it differently. If there are other videos out there, they might have a different way of doing it. But this is the way I do it. So that way, I want to keep it. Get the right keys, Jake. I want to keep this chart green and the net opening as wide as possible. And this is the easiest way I found to do it. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Until then, conquer the seas. I wish you the best catch. And, well, take care and see you later. Bye-bye.